here early. Sometimes it's good to be early. But our show starts at a specific time. You should remember that. Let's get started then, shall we?
Dillon, I don't give a what you think about a co-host and freshen up my show.
It might not be flashy, but sometimes you just got to toss another person to make a statement.
My show's about the people's podcast. Everyone has a voice. I don't need a co-host. Go listen to one of the other 5,000 shows with a co-host because they don't have a mouth like the big guy.
Opie, are you a career killer with Tim Sabian, yourself, and many others?
Be myself. Never had real issues with those people. They just understood that I was a different bird. The rest of them, though, I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm paying your salary because the ratings are so good, so shut up.
Hey,
Live from
Somewhere.
it's
Dillon.
Good whatever to you whenever you are watching this episode of Cohost Auditions, the show where I am doing my self-taped audition for a host who has an established monetized channel. And boy, I'm looking a little rough this morning as I was throwing together, trying to get this going. I am running late AF. And today's host is Wisecrack, who is delving into the world of Swipey apps. The last time you saw me, actually all of last week, I was talking about a date that I had stayed away, and you may wonder, how did that go, your date with that Swipey app lady? It didn't. The day before the date, she mentioned that she has an OnlyFans. I guess I'm already demonetized. I believe that's one of the no-no words on YouTube to get you demonetized already. But yeah, so I had some questions. Apparently, she thinks very highly of her art of sticking cylindrical objects into places and was offended and was like, fuck off. So, oh well, shit happens. Just up front with a lot of dirty words since I already decided that this is a demonetized episode. So we have our host of the day, Wisecrack. This does appear to be a collaborative effort by multiple people. I believe he'll introduce himself. Michael, I believe is your name, sir. The main Wisecracker over here. And hey, I'm a streamer. I can be collaborative.
What's up, guys? Michael here to talk about
Yes,
the
Michael.
main cause of carpal tunnel syndrome in 35 and unders, swiping on dating apps. If you're looking for love online, chances are you've racked up a fair share of heartbreak or at least mild disappointment. While offering
Frustration is how I would put it. These apps, well, it first started, Tinder, I believe, was the first one to get the swipey type of technology. And I think that worked out very well for hooking up because here's a picture of someone, smash or pass, and smash, pass. And now it's just so easy that every single dating app has taken to be a swipey app. Even OkCupid, which was really big into the essays and the questions and the percentage. And that's the one that you can filter and find people who are also ethically non-monogamous or just looking for hookups. But they decided to dumb down their dumb down their systems and become a swipey app like everyone else. So that is just all we have now is this bastardized version of dating apps. Last episode with KB, we did have a good idea. We need some seed money for the trains and pinball autism swipey app. And I believe instead of seeing a picture of the person up front, you see like a Photoshop of a bunch of their interests. And yeah, the autism dating app. Looking for some seed money for that.
a seemingly infinite supply of potential suitors, dating apps can feel like an endless cycle of swiping, forced witty banter, awkward coffee dates, mutual ghosting, and ultimately going to bed alone. So
And I do like to take what they have in their profile and make conversation about it. So the ones that are just absolutely bare and have nothing there, I got nothing to work at. How was your weekend? And some that'll have all that they have. Don't ask me how my day was. I have no idea what to do as a jumping off point. You put absolutely nothing there. You got a nice looking face, a nice pair of cans, and what am I supposed to say? Nice tits?
How did we get here? Is online dating a unique technosexual dystopia or the natural culmination of centuries of courtship rituals? Let's find out in this Wisecrack edition, Online Dating. Is love just a commodity? But before we dive in, I want to tell you
Love has been a commodity for quite some time. It's the oldest profession there, Mr. Michael.
about this week's sponsor, Keeps.
That's okay. I'm keep on going there. Oh, it looks like you need some keeps there with your hat that I'm emulating, as always, dressing up like my host with a nice colorful shirt and a hat. That hat makes me believe you are not using your product that you are pimping out there of keeps, Mr. Michael.
It takes between 4 and 6 ahead to receive 50%.
Blah, 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 blah. Yes, this is why I want to get into bed with the Wisecrack people. Look at them reading ads, getting all that nice ad copy money, whereas I'm sitting on my hands here. Well, not literally, figuratively.
That finger. Most women weren't allowed to work
That finger.
and thus sought financial stability via marriage, while men were incentivized by that sweet, sweet dowry.
And going back to the oldest prostitution, like out west, that was a woman's industry. There would be the madam. And that was, I believe, the conspiracy theories that it was the religious right and the chauvinism that took away the prostitution industry of the Old West. And nope, this is illegal. We can't have women out there making a business out for themselves.
Dowry.
What's wrong with her? She's beautiful, she's rich, she's got huge tracts of land.
Courtship was largely a private enterprise arranged between families, with women essentially functioning as bartering tools to solidify social alliances. Potential candidates were evaluated based on
And that is actually how royalty became the Habsburgs. Oh, the Habsburgs jaw, all those years and years of inbreeding. It's a political agreement, a financial agreement. That's the way it was. And now we got all this love shit involved. What the fuck is this? This was supposed to be a monetary deal. This was supposed to keep the power within the family.
class and social status. Sociologist Ava Iluz also notes that most young people were pressured to accept their first reasonable option. Love was nice if it happened, but this was mostly a regimented transaction.
Not all of us can afford to be romantic. I've been offered a comfortable home and protection. There's a lot to
He's been offered condoms.
be thankful for.
Charlotte.
I'm
Gentlemen.
27 years old. I've no money and no prospects.
But then, in 1840, Queen Victoria
You don't want one of those prospectors. Not many of those prospectors out there in the Old West actually hit gold. There was a lot of people just hoping to hit that gold. So yeah, you don't want those prospectors.
and legendary wife guy Prince Albert entered the chat.
For me, this is not
Was he in the can?
the marriage of convenience.
No. I think it will be a marriage of inconvenience.
They were famously head over heels in love, a romance that only got more legendary when Victoria publicly mourned Albert for 40 years after his death. Royals, as you may know, were basically the original influencers. So this romance, coupled with the mainstream
Come on, give me that Habsburg jaw, Mr. Wisecrack.
of Enlightenment ideals about personal fulfillment,
Actually, Mr. Michael sounds more funny than Mr. Wisecrack. I'm going to stick with Mr. Michael. Kind of sounds like Hero from Heroes. Mr. Isaac! Mr. Mikkel!
helped make marrying for romantic love start to seem important and even noble. For upper-class women, this era of courtship meant suitors leaving calling cards and arranging chaperoned meetings. Like Bumble, but your frowning stepmom is also there, just sitting and judging. What's important is that courtship
She
now
needs a place to live too. Like, this is Dad's big chance to get Mom the fuck out of the house. You're taking my daughter and you're taking my wife. I'm going to whore it up around town.
entailed assessing compatibility between families, personalities, and so on, rather than just settling for the first Joe Schmo who threw a stone at your window. Working class women, somewhat empowered.
And you don't want someone just throwing their stone at your window. You want someone that has the stereo outside. You know that they will say anything to get you.
By the wage economy,
Hopefully
were
do
less
anything.
bound by ceremony, and often lived in apartments too small for men to come calling anyway. They met men on their way to work, in shops, or at music halls. They dated, had sex, juggled a bevy of admirers, and it wasn't uncommon to be pregnant on your wedding day. Dating around wasn't just a fun time. It was also considered essential.
Oh, look at this black and white video of, it looks like an interracial gathering. Oh my goodness. In the black and white times, what town is this that was way ahead and progressive?
To finding the right match and what Iluz calls the emergence of a...
I take that back. Upon further inspection, nope, that wasn't a town that was forward thinking. It was just the grainy color that made me believe that they had all races there in that black and white era. Nope, not a forward thinking town.
Market of encounter.
Very much like Pound Town up in Virginia, not a forward thinking town.
But here's the thing. In the dating culture that emerged at the end of the 19th century, money became even more central to the direct interactions of the couple. Because now, dating meant going on dates. And going on dates tends to cost money. As scholar Beth L. Bailey explains, courtship was largely construed and understood in models and metaphors of modern industrial capitalism. As dates moved from living rooms into dance halls and bars, money...
And now we've come full circle with dates going back into the living room. Netflix and chill? Feel you up while we watch a movie?
It was what Bailey calls a symbolic currency of exchange, where men needed to pay to gain access to women's company. By the 1920s, she notes,
prostitution, but not prostitution. I'm gonna pay for your company.
Dating provided a new frontier for public competition through consumption. As a result, young people started defining themselves as commodities. Men by how much they could afford to spend on theater tickets, women by how much they were worth spending on. This fittingly coincided with the explosive growth of the consumer economy, which transformed ideals of romantic love.
A lot of footage from the roaring 20s here, when people really started going out and having fun with the opposite sex.
If men now needed to have money to burn on vaudeville shows, women now needed to look like pre-war Kardashians. That's in large part due to the increased sexualization of women in the media and advertising. Industries like cosmetics relied on enticing imagery to create...
We really do go back and forth as a culture of the good-looking model being a skeleton or curvy. And according to the millennials, the Zoomers are bringing back the skeletal type. We got more into liking the big booty, big titty, little bit of chub around the midsection here at millennials. The Xers, they were about the skeletons. And yep, looks like we went very quickly back to the skeleton figure being the thing. So I guess I am officially a chubby chaser again, since I am not a big fan of those skeletons. As I said with April Imholt, once she put out that picture of herself in a bikini, that she went from Minnesota 9 to a Minnesota 8, because where's the beef? Or the tone? Need a little bit of beef or some tone on you. Miss April Imholt dropped a whole Minnesota rating point for me.
Create demand for new products. As Iluz notes, before the 1920s, the word sexy was actually considered derogatory. It was more preferable to shack up with someone who was, say, super moral or reliable. But as mass media began pumping out images of eroticized female bodies,
Pabst Blue Ribbon,
and soon enough, male bodies, sexual attraction began figuring into people's choices in a much bigger way. As marital selection became increasingly less based on your social status and more on subjective things like sex appeal, the ability...
Those were some pretty eyes on that lady.
...to land a regulation hottie started factoring more into people's conceptions of individual self-worth. As Iluz puts it, under modernity, sexuality thus becomes closely intertwined with social value. But of course, nothing spoils the sex party quite like a pair of world wars. Couples were split apart, with courtship relegated out of the dance hall and back to the...
Oh, those wartime letters, they are really something to read. Very much deteriorated our letter writing skills. As with the Swipey apps, now the letter writing skills are just a message back and forth, and many times just HBY, how about you? what up?
To the post office. But it went beyond these basic logistics. The idea of a chaste woman who stayed home loyally awaiting the troops' return became hugely popular, especially during World War I. And that chaste woman became something of a commodified trope.
He's having a threesome. He had 2 ladies waiting for him. He had 2 romantic letters that he was sending back home. And look at them. They are both into it. She seems to be more into the polyamorous triangle relationship than she is. She's a little hunched over. She's not as sure as this lady is about having a 2 lady relationship with one man.
Especially during World War I. And that chaste woman became something of a commodified trophy for men down in the trenches to fantasize and sing about.
My God.
Hats are another thing that went away, Secret Snake. I was talking about going back to the more skeletal looking lady looking beautiful, and hats are a big thing that went away. And I'm wearing mine because I don't know. The ball cap trucker hat doesn't seem sexy, but Wisecrack is wearing his hat. And that's actually something that we learned from Johnny Dangerously in the opening of that movie, that men were legally required to walk around New York with a hat on for hours at a time. So thank you, Johnny Dangerously, for that little tidbit.
Girl back home.
Whoa. Whoa, that sounds like a DMCA violation. Beautiful voice, sir. Nice little bird call you have, but I ain't gonna hear it.
Working class and middle class women also spent more time in the public sphere, doing man stuff like going to job and sometimes wearing trousers. But especially...
And getting them a nice case of mouth cancer from painting on some glow-in-the-dark watches.
After World War II, the return of the troops, plus rising pressure to marry early, pushed a lot of women back into the home. Some of the rush to get married was out of anxiety about this.
A little lady dick tease, a clit tease, if you will, of welcome to the workforce, lady, get out of the house. Get back in the house, the man's home. And it was a time in which minimum wage allowed for affording the lady to stay home. Now, oh boy, a one-income home, fucking forget about it, fella.
The scarcity of eligible men post-war, which reinforces a marketplace vibe. But this also had other important economic implications. Whereas...
So Secret Snake believes that the ball cap trucker hat is all right,
but this
but
also
old-timey hats. So you're saying I should indeed leave the fedora in the closet. That was cool in Los Angeles, in the most hipster part of town for a little while. But yeah, now it's very douche chill inspiring, isn't it? I would like to get a bowler hat. I think a bowler hat is about to make its comeback. It is overdue. The fedora had its time in the sun, especially in hipster communities, but the bowler hat is all right. When I will put on my fedora to get ladies like Electra. She is into the fedora. Yeah, it's not in arm's reach. Like when I have something in arm's reach, I'll get it. Like the bow tie. And unfortunately, as we've established, the bow tie does look nice on me, but I have a short neck and my neck disappears. So it's a give and take with me wearing a bow tie.
Had other important economic implications. Whereas married women had once been treated like pure commodities, housewives were now the main consumers of commodities. Men went to work, produced goods, accumulated capital, and their wives spent that money buying more goods. Thus, the marriage industrial complex became vital to keeping the consumption-driven 1950s economy humming. Meanwhile,
the man makes the money, the lady spends the money. That is what happens in the 1950s. What do you think about that, Gary Baba Booey?
I want a commitment. I want to give a commitment, and I want to have a commitment.
Doesn't matter to Gary Baba Booey. He wants to give a commitment, and he wants to have a commitment, whatever the financial situation should be.
Well, for the burgeoning youth consumer culture of the 1950s, Goin' Steady became a coming-of-age dating ritual in its own right, complete with varsity pins and a sexy game called 2 Straws, 1 Milkshake.
Did they really get pins? Go Steady! I was hoping they would! Go Steady!
By the mid-1950s, 1 in 10 middle school students would go steady at least once before turning 11. Of course, I better than doubled it.
That's a bit early to be going steady. And Annie O'Ryan and I did review a video on going steady on the short-lived Nerds Without Dates. I could bring that back. I think we could bring that back. I stopped doing it because YouTube was being a dick about the copyright claims on clips. But I think I figured out how to play their little game of playing clips. I've gotten a little ballsier. We do have another episode of Successful Failures coming up this Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern with TV Funhouse and Secret Snake. So yeah, I stopped playing clips at all for a little bit after getting a hey, no playing that, and a warning, hey, don't play that. But yeah, getting a little more adventurous to play clips again.
Pulled those stats myself. Going steady is essentially the origin for how we conceive of dating today in all its serial monogamy. And make no mistake, just as it was.
So you really had to announce you were going steady. That sounds like that polyamory was the thing back in the day until you absolutely announced, hey, we're going steady. It is one-on-one from here on out.
For their parents, consumption was inextricable from this boom in young love. Shopping and investment became metaphors for dating. You needed a card to neck in.
He says consumption a lot. He could play a drinking game with all the times he said consumption. So yeah, from now on, drink every time Mr. Michael says consumption.
Class ring to exchange, a Letterman jacket to drape over your date's shoulders, records to dance to, and turntables to play them on, meals at the malt shop, and so on. And dating remains a consumption-driven activity to this day, even if we've swapped banana splits for charcuterie boards and class rings for Netflix passwords. Now, the 1960s and 70s, as you probably know, brought varying degrees of free love and rebellion against the previous.
And LSD, motherfucker. Those hippies ruined the psychedelic research for decades. And we're just starting to get back into that because psychedelics and psilocybin do make the brain more better. I could have constructed that sentence in a better way in so many fashions, but I did not, because psilocybin, yay for the brain.
Previous decade.
In moderation, like anything. Alcohol, good in moderation. Psilocybin, good in moderation. Psilocybin every day, you'll end up like the guy on mushrooms from TV Funhouse's The Baby, the Immigrant, and the Guy on Mushrooms. Oh.
Decades, sexual and romantic constraints. But by the 1980s, we saw a return to conservative values in pretty much every element of American society.
Fucking Reagan.
It's around this time that the 1950s were reimagined as a nostalgic utopia of happy families born from people who'd just lost their virginity. The free market-obsessed 80s also saw the ascendancy of dating technology, like computer-based dating services.
1980s also saw cocaine. 1950s, but cocaine.
Or the truly heinous video dating boom.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
These companies promise.
I love those so much. Thank goodness that they still exist in compilation format. I think this is the exact one I've seen, because like, who would save these? They don't exist in mass amounts anymore, but they still exist. And here it's like the proto Swipey dating app. So here are our first 10 minutes. Wisecrack is getting into the history of dating, but not much of the hellscape that is the hookup app just becoming the default dating app. Just laziness, I tell you. Laziness on all the other people copying the hookup app and promoting people, hey, this smash or pass type of decision making on how to date someone. Let's just do this. Let's make that the standard for 2010 and beyond.
Promised to help you do comparison shopping of potential dates from the comfort and privacy of your own home. Again, we see the language of capitalism continuing to permeate dating. And then came the internet. Now, technically, the earliest version of computerized dating came from Harvard in 1965, when some students created Operation Match a half-century before your favorite sunscreen enthusiast.
The first ever Match.com. And we are indeed beyond the lowered expectations. Secret Snake. That was one of the long-running Mad TV gags, and oh, did I love that sketch so much. They had a lot of fun with the lowered expectations sketch on Mad TV.
enthusiast who would start your least favorite social networking site in hopes of getting laid. This 75-question-long survey helped tens of thousands of people learn about well-suited potential new mates in its first year alone. And its algorithmic match process has since been emulated by modern dating sites. These companies also used the knowledge gained from those questionnaires to mine consumer data, a practice that would only grow in the years to come. As the internet entered more homes,
it would only grow. There's a penis joke in there that I was constructing in my mind and thought would be completed by the time I started speaking, but we need Duke Phillips to help us try to find that joke.
Where's the joke? Sir, we're on the air. I know we're on the air, but where's the joke?
It wasn't developed. It needed more time in the dark room to develop. I brought it out of the dark room too soon, and it's overexposed, and it was just not finished, Mr. Phillips.
Companies like AOL funneled people into chat rooms, bulletin boards, and so on based on mutual interests, which inevitably led to dating. The first dating site, Kiss.com, launched in 1990.
What the fuck was that Star Wars? Was there a Star Wars dating site
Inevitably
that
led
I'm
to
unfamiliar
dating.
of?
The first
Star Wars Returns. Oh, yeah, I guess he's just putting us into a time and place of 1999 when The Phantom Menace came out.
dating site, Kiss.com, launched in 1994, followed shortly thereafter by Match.com in 1995. And by 1998, Nora Ephron made the world a better place with the film You've Got Mail. Side note, we actually made a video about how that delightful film is secretly fascist, so check it out. Now, early online daters encountered plenty of stigma, and were often painted as desperate. But the more
Actually, you know what he skipped over was the personals in the newspaper. SWF seeking SWM.
Online our lives have gotten, the more mainstream online.
You had to pay per letter. So single white male, single white female, you abbreviated it to be able to afford to tell people, hey, dick here, pussy available over here. And being from Carroll County, Maryland, our personal section did not have too many SBM, SBFs. It was SWF all over the place in Carroll County, Maryland's personal ads.
Online dating has become. By 2007, Americans alone spent $500 million on online dating services, making it the second most profitable sector of the internet economy.
And another thing that you didn't see at that time, M4W, but no, M4TSF. That's a new one.
And we all know what the highest industry is. The one you have to open up the anonymous browser to go look at, so it's not in your history, so that if your mom uses your computer, that thing doesn't happen again like it did that one time. So
he's talking about Backpage, and I haven't seen Backpage. I know they got shut down for a bit. I think they came back. Skip the Games is quite popular amongst the whoring community.
It comes as no surprise that online dating services are expected to rake in over $3 billion this year in the United States alone, especially in light of how a cornucopia of new dating sites and apps have cropped up, boasting new innovations like Tinder's gamified swiping interface or Bumble's woman-led dating model. A benefit of online dating is the way
What is a pain in the ass of Bumble versus Tinder is that Bumble, you swipe up to see more, and over on Tinder, swipe up is super swipe, but you don't get any free super swipes anymore. You used to get 5 per week, and now no, you got to pay for any super swipes, and fuck you, I'm not paying for this garbage. Ooh, I'm a fan of the one with the pool cue. There's a lot of pretty ladies there. Let's see. Yeah, lady with the pool cue there. I would like you to win the dick lottery over here. I would like to have death by snoo snoo from that one.
Computer sentences them to death by snoo snoo.
Yeah!
Something about the one sitting there with the kind of brown top, that face. There's something about that face that I'm not fully trusting that face. And now we are getting on to the main segment of why swipey apps are the scourge of modern day dating. So halfway point, this is usually when I get in a little bit of a shill segment, thanking you for joining. Low audience today, but being that no one watches this show anyways, it's par for the course. Thank you for joining. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Chatting helps the algorithm, as does commenting. After this is done, Dillon from somewhere at gmail.com, Dillon, for any of your random creative needs, or if you need me to help clear out your hoarded fucking house. It is a battle at work to stop them from just throwing shit anywhere and everywhere. So, yeah, I enjoy organizing, and I enjoy, if you need basic video editing skills, not advanced, but basic, I can help there. Script doctoring, bouncing ideas off of anyone trying to get into stand-up. I don't know if I can help that Ray DeVito fellow. He seems to think he's got something going, and I don't think I could help you as a comedy writer, Mr. DeVito.
It creates opportunities for people from specific communities to connect with each other. LGBTQ plus folks, people in rural areas, elderly or disabled people, hell, even fly fishermen. It can also be a relatively unthreatening way to meet new people, and sometimes to screen out potentially bad matches. But we see something else going on that we think does a lot to...
And then just getting into fuck, I haven't met anyone. Right. And then matching boy, the little head was really thinking on that one, wasn't it? This is someone, and just in general, finding someone where both the big head and the little head agree. The last lady that I was casually dating, little head did not agree. She wanted the wang, but the wang was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna be working hard here." Really liked her personality, but the wang was not into it.
To explain why online dating can feel so hard and occasionally pretty depressing. Now, we've talked about
online dating feeling so hard. Sounds like he was on Backpage and skipped the games if it's feeling really hard.
Intersection between dating and economics, from dowries to theater dates to the consumer demand for engagement rings that cost a month's salary. But we'd argue that online dating basically takes the commodification of the actual act of dating that cropped up around the turn of the century and turned it up to 11.
Put it up to
11, exactly.
How? Well, as scholars Rebecca D. Hino, Nicole B. Ellison, and Jennifer L. Gibbs note in their article,
Hino. That's a heck of a last name.
Relation shopping, dating sites are typically designed like...
Not just no, it is a high no. No!
Online shopping platforms, evoking the sensation of literally window shopping for a match. They write that the functionality and design of online dating sites encouraged participants to adopt a marketplace orientation towards the online dating experience. Now, that doesn't necessarily make Tinder sinister, but
Mr. Michael is not appearing a lot on here. He's throwing his editing skills into the mix much more than showing his face.
It could have real implications for the kinds of relationships you're most likely to find. In relation shopping, the authors write that online dating may encourage an attitude where prospective partners are commodified as products to be sold, assessed, purchased, or discarded. Being discarded is probably fine if you were only looking for...
It's the smash or pass model, and once you smash, you have you've broken it. I smashed it, it's broken, I don't want it anymore.
For a one-time hookup, but it lends a depressing air if you're in search of a long-term relationship. Ilus notes that it also leads to hypercritical assessments that render potential partners commensurable, measurable, and comparable with each other. And if sexual attractiveness became a big deal in the 20s, it's only been magnified in importance, because these apps facilitate a lightning-fast, superficial decision-making process, typically based on a few flattering photos. Online dating also
which is why we need to get trains and pinball off the ground. So we get a Photoshop of all your interests, like Star Trek and pinball. I'm not a train guy. I am fascinated a little bit when I went to a small community. What was it? Mesa? Santa Mesa? Something outside San Diego. And I started being like, ooh, I think I might be a train guy and never realized it.
Massively expands your pool of potential.
Actually, I've realized I was a train guy for quite a few years, an Eiffel Tower guy, if you will, opposite sides. No ball slapping on the same side. That's hot. But nope, don't think I can do that. And the 2-in-1 hole, you're getting off on another guy's wang friction just as much or more as you're getting off on the vaginal friction. So no 2-in-1. No.
Potential matches, creating a sense of interchangeability. How many Daniels can you match with before they all blend into the same guy in cargo shorts? And this replicates the overall sensation we have as consumers today, where we're similarly empowered to choose between a dizzying array of 125 toothpaste brands. What's more, in the logic of online dating,
Colgate or Crest? I guess I need to expand my horizons on toothpaste. I've always been a Colgate or a Crest guy, this or that.
Potential matches are reduced and scrutinized by isolated attributes, making them easier to reject or discard. Research has found that the ease of discarding online dating partners may even continue into a relationship. That's partly because of the lack of an integrated social environment, i.e. shared friends or communities, which makes it feel easier to ghost. Overall, Earluz argues internet dating sites
which is one of the other reasons why I've always found it better to find someone in real life. All of my good relationships have been found in real life. Hookups. Actually, yeah, I am now thinking back to a nice bang partner that I had that I discarded. Yeah, blame the dating apps, not me. It's their fault that I discarded that nice hole instead of learning the person around the hole. Not my fault, the dating app. Yeah, that's the ticket. Right, John Lovitz? Isn't that the ticket?
Yeah, that's a ticket. Yeah.
Display the consumerist logic of increasingly narrowing, defining, and refining taste, and comparing among alternative possibilities. While it's obviously good to be picky when it comes to choosing a long-term partner, applying consumerist logic to actual human beings seems less picky, more icky. And it's not just your potential dates that are being commodified here. The authors of Relation Shopping also note that online dating encourages self-commodification via a tangible and explicit assessment.
Something that I was told by a lady was, here, I can help you improve your profile. Talk about all the things that you're not into. What? No, I'm talking about my interest. And that's a big turnoff for me, actually. It's a very negative personality trait. Instead of talking about everything that you like, everything that you don't like. And it also confuses the person. When you have FWB in big letters, oh, yes, I'm in for a quick bang. And then you notice after you match, not in for FWBONS or ENM. I see ENM, ethical non-monogamy. Oh, cool. It's weird. It's more rare to come across the weirdo folks that think like me. And then to find out those real big letters had a small no, ENM, no, friends with benefits. Put what you like.
Assessment of one's own perceived desirability in ways less likely to occur with traditional face-to-face communication. That is to say, participants in online dating are constantly receiving reams of data that cause them to assess their own objective value in the dating world, which can feel pretty harsh. So what does this all say about us? Well, modernity, Earluz explains, has been all about the rise of the rational in just about every aspect of life, from psychology.
Secret Snake has zero ability to flirt via text and zero awareness in real life. That's actually something I had to work on, something I realized in hindsight for the longest time of, that lady was into me. She was flirting with me. What a fucking fool I was. So that awareness, just practice helps you get that awareness, and kicking yourself for missing that opportunity. Hopefully you will realize it in the moment at some point after working out that muscle. And going home and then working out the old muscle solo. So, fuck, I was leading up to something. Maybe I'll remember it. Take it away while I try to find my point again, Mr. Michael.
psychology to weight loss fads. Online dating reflects the rationalization of love, where we're encouraged to assess potential dates as laundry list of attributes rather than messy, complex human beings. The endless supply of consumer choices that defines late capitalism has been effectively mapped onto human relationships. While some of us may romanticize the 1950s model of going steady long term,
I prefer the pre-going steady, where you were an outright whore, and that was just the way it was, until announcing that we're going steady, one-on-one. Oh yes, my point. At work, there was a lady that was flirting with me, and I was able to talk around asking her out, since so many ladies on the Swipey app are very ghost-like. What's up with all this ghosting, with all these flakes around? Do you have trouble with a date following through? And she let people know that, oh, hey, I have a boyfriend. So I was like, okay, good. I was able to talk around asking you out rather than outright make it awkward. Oh, hey, you have a boyfriend. Oh, hello, Daisy Foco. I did a co-host audition for you a little bit ago. So I hope you enjoyed it. There was another lady that absolutely did not enjoy it and asked me specifically, don't do this again. So I'm not doing this to troll. I probably goofed on you a little bit. Actually, yes. There was some goofing on a little bit. I hope that you're good-natured about it. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Ms. Foco. And I like what you're doing over there. And just know that any of the goofing on was in good spirits. Cassie Baxter, she did not take the goofing on. She said that it was trashing, and I'm in a weird community where trashing me is kind of where am I going? People are quick to go, you're trashing me when it's a goofing on. So thank you for enjoying that video, and hopefully where was I going with that?
The tech we're using to find relationships may be counterproductive in achieving that goal. Think about it.
Cassie Baxter felt trashed. I did invite her on to my interview show, and she did not respond. So yeah, I'm not trolling you anymore, Miss Baxter. You're off the line. It upset you. I'm not looking to upset people.
About it. After World War II, women settled into marriage quickly due to the scarcity of eligible men. In contrast, the seeming abundance of matches provided by online dating might incline us to not settle down at all, or to discard a potential mate simply because there might be a shinier object just a click away. Don't get us wrong. Exploring your options is great, but when it's treated like this...
And actually, Cassie Baxter did have weird, unique thoughts on dating that I thought that she would... I do have weird thoughts on dating. I thought we would get along great, but nope, Cassie Baxter did not like what I was doing. And I hope she puts out some more content. She is a weird lady, and apparently not one for goofing
Same process as finding the right Netflix show starts to feel a little cynical. And the commodification of human beings on dating sites goes even deeper. Hinge might brand itself as the dating app designed to be deleted, but it's actually in all the app's best interest to keep you scrolling through face after face. And their casino-style interfaces make it all too easy to waste an evening doing just that. Ultimately, these companies make a great deal of money by collecting super valuable data about some of the most intimate aspects of your life. After all, these aren't old friends interested in helping you find love. They're tech platforms interested in earning a buck or a billion of them. So it seems that dating has become more complicated and more commodified than ever before. Finding a mate.
It's all those swipey apps are in to make a buck. They are in for the money, and there's actually been some studies, some academic papers where they're really encouraging you to not find the one. They are encouraging you to stay on the swipey app for a longer period of time.
A prospect once simply determined by your family's financial capital is now an important means of affirming your worth, of broadcasting your individual social and/or cultural capital. Qualities like your sense of humor or your great hair, Ilu says, they'll start to become indexes of your inner value. In other words, if you used to be able to blame your bankrupt dad for hurting your chances of landing a wife, now you're implicitly told to blame yourself for not being witty enough in your About Me section. So what are we supposed to do? We're years off from designing our perfect partner in a lab. Free love communes are harder and harder to find, and sex robots can be hacked and turned into murder bots. So are we?
Ooh, that's a horror movie that hasn't been explored yet. The Rising of the Fuckbots.
Stuck as self-aware
Terminator 7, Rise of the Fuckbots.
Commodities in an ever-expanding marketplace of increasingly disposable romantic products? Well, barring some kind of cultural backlash, online dating will probably keep becoming increasingly intrinsic to our courtship rituals. We can't change that. But maybe recognizing the unusual historical moment of dating that we're in can help us be a little less hard on ourselves when the process feels hopeless. And maybe thinking about how weird it is to treat yourself
That is a trauma movie, Rise of the Fuckbots. Trauma presents the legally distinct Terminator. Well, there's dozens of legally distinct Terminators. Abraxas with Jesse Ventura. I believe that Mystery Science Theater got on that one. And there was a Goof on Movies thing out in Los Angeles for a while. I was disappointed it didn't last for particularly long. It didn't have a lot of attendees, but yeah, got to yell out during Abraxas during a live crowd.
Like a commodity can help us be a little less judgmental towards men who post photos of themselves with tigers. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking for some iteration of the same thing. Human connection, whether for a night or forever. Well, that and romantic partners who look like they're auditioning for a Tiger King biopic. But what do you guys think? Do you wish your romantic life was still determined by
romantic connections? You put the one end into the other end, and it's a connection. There.
Dowries? Is online dating
Connection
killing romance,
work,
or is shopping for dates
this one
fun
does.
and empowering?
Hey-o.
Let us know in the comments. Big thanks to our patrons for all your support, and be sure to check out our podcast. Hit that subscribe button like it's a super like on Tinder, and don't forget to ring that bell. And as always, thanks for watching. Later.
You can ring that bell. Ring that bell. Ooh. So that was Wisecrack. He had a intro, 10 minutes of the history of dating, and then 10 minutes. I didn't think he really got too far into the hellscape of swipey dating apps. I think it was a bit surface level of the hellscape of swipey dating apps. But we do have TikTok and some examples of the shitstorm that is swipey dating apps. So here we have a fellow, however you say his name there, Brycelyn 5, who did a little experiment. He heard a conversation. You'll see where he got the conversation from, and saw if it would work as well as he saw on television.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
Do girls not have balls?
Girls do not have balls, no.
So when a girl goes to scratch her balls, how does that work? I just don't understand what's at the bottom of a vagina.
Do you want me to show you?
Holy shit!
Didn't quite work out
Holy
the
shit!
same way, bro. Haha, what the hell? She did not offer to show him what is at the bottom of a vagina. So here we have another example of what is going on in the swipey apps.
I usually go for 4s, but I guess I'll settle for a 9. Wink.
I hope that's not your targeted age range. Raised eyebrow.
Oh shit, I walked right into that. You did say you'd ruin my pickup line. Do I need to try another one?
Laura, I ain't a pedo.
Good recovery. That is a solid recovery after being accused of being a pedo. I am not a pedo. Mind Story Central. Very much the Danny DeVito approach in the episode of Always Sunny, where they had the kids pageant, and he just made it very clear up front out there that we are not diddlers. So that was a little taste of what was going on online. I guess the other one wasn't entertaining enough. So I got rid of that one before the start. And now to take us out, it is a clown lady. This is Clown Hop. We have a few different get-ups from Clown Hop.
A clown.
And I'm pretty sure Mr. Rogers isn't DMCA protected. So I believe we are okay with this clown song. And look, she has a little white heart around her face in the clown makeup. So that's cute.
Think I'll be a clown. I think I'll make the people laugh and laugh all over town.
She's going to make them laugh. And here, Clown Hop is doing something a little different than making them laugh with that sultry outfit.
Wow! Professor, look at that clown!
I'm a looking good at that clown. And is that a push-up bra? I didn't see too much of cleavage in that one. Yeah, I think you got a push-up bra in that one. So nice little trick that you have on there on us there, Miss Clown Hop. And one more from Clown Hop. We have three different, and she is a cosplayer. So those interested in cosplay, I know Isaac Walmart was a big fan of the cosplay lady. Oh, I forget her name. I'll have to look her up again. But Clown Hop does a lot of cosplay, and she has different clown makeups that she does. And here's a third one.
Based? I'm based. I store bodies in an undisclosed location.
That is the way to do it. You store bodies in a location that is known, they're going to be found. And that is no bueno. So that was the dating world from Wisecrack. Thanks for joining. Thanks for Daisy Foco for stopping in. And she did not think that my video was trashing. It was a nice lighthearted goofing on, unlike Cassie Baxter, who felt trashed. And unfortunately, no more Cassie Baxter, because she was not happy with those videos, even though I would like to get her opinion on more weird dating stuff. So had a good time here with Google Chrome. We'll see if there's another bonus segment this time. Hackride has been having trouble with Google Chrome kicking him the hell out. Last time on Chatting With, Google Chrome wouldn't let me end the stream. So we'll see after I end this show if we have another bonus segment at the end of me. Hey, it's not ending the stream. And I should come up with a little backup plan if it does do that again. Tomorrow we are TikToking around the clock. And then Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Successful Failures with Secret Snake. Tommy returns to talk about the final episode. We have the last 4 episodes, deep dive of the TV Funhouse. So gonna have fun with that. And then we'll move on to something else. And I should book someone for Chatting with Beloved Chatters. I am really bad at that. Thank you for the update. StreamYard says that the Google thing has been fixed. And just as that has been fixed, Facebook and Instagram go the fuck down. That was actually one thing that I found out as I was trying to promote this on those 2 apps. They are down. And Facebook dating also has a Swipey app. And there were 2 ladies I was talking to on there. So we'll see if when Facebook comes back up, if those are deleted or not. And actually, the logging out from my phone, the one time I did get kicked out because the power flashed on and off, I was too slow to think of that. Even when the Wi-Fi goes down, the 4G is still in the air, and we can log off from the phone. So that is it for today. Thank you, Wisecrack, for bringing your thoughts on the dating world. I could have used some more on the Swipey apps. You were more entertaining than the other Swipey app video essayists I previewed. So that's why he won out while I was looking for a Swipey app analyzation. Thank you all for joining. Now feel free to go away.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
Places all. All join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LS, MFT. Elementary corners like swinging on a gate. To right, dear honey, with the right and left date. Grand right and left, around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girl. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LS, MFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.